we're going to get into the Simone Anderson Women's Refuge saga. Just a little reminder, Simone Anderson is a New Zealand influencer. She rose to influence fame from weight loss surgery, diet, exercise, so losing a bunch of weight, getting her skin removal done in the US, and then doing makeup either on the internet or as part of her little business that she was doing. She received a lot of PR packages. She would be sent to events to promote stuff. She was doing pretty well. She seemed to be the sort of darling of New Zealand at the time. She was well known. Now, with regards to the Women's Refuge saga, this all came about because Simone Anderson had a Facebook page where she was selling her promoted gear that she was gifted. Now that would be, tights, gym wear, clothes, dresses, bags, shoes, other little goodies, knickknacks, whatever, that she was not keeping. She would sell in this Facebook group, and part of what she was saying when selling these was that the portions or from the sale, the money received from the sale would go to a charity. This charity was the Women's Refuge, and I think it just played on a lot of people's heartstrings. DV is a big issue in New Zealand. It's a big issue in Australia. It's a big issue all around the world. I mean, a lot of Simone's followers are women, so they feel this. They want to be able to help a charity that is going to help victims of domestic violence. So, Simone was saying that, all sales, the money would go to charity, and people were just blindly going, yes, great, here's my money, I want this dress, I want these shoes, I want these pants, whatever. And then along comes Pebbles Hooper, and Pebbles is now a controversial character, let's not lie. She ruffles quite a few feathers, she shoots straight from the hip, she sometimes speaks without thinking, and fair enough, Pebbles is who Pebbles is. But for all of what Pebbles done wrong, bringing to the attention of the New Zealand people that potentially someone is being a little dishonest about the money they're receiving that is supposed to be going to a charity, good on her for bringing that up. That needs to be made aware of. So Pebbles brought this up, and, she was just like, hey, Simone, in Pebbles' way of doing it, she was, hey, Simone, can we see the receipts? And a lot of followers were like, what are you talking about? What's going on? And, then it sort of started to gain traction, and another influencer, Makaia Carr, also got in. And Makaia was like, hey, actually, DV is a pretty serious issue. You're saying you're supporting this charity. Yeah, you know what? We would love to see the receipts. And Simone just kept quiet. Anyone asked about the receipts, Simone blocked them from her group, removed them from their group, deleted the comments. Anyone asked Simone about the receipts on her Instagram, blocked, deleted, restricted. She did all that. She was just not coming through with any sort of answer. Newspapers got involved, so online headlines about complaints against Simone and this Women's Refuge receipt saga. Simone then issued cease and desist against Pebbles and Makaia. Both Pebbles and Makaia still questioned, still asked, and Simone took it a little further, went to the police and issued a harmful digital communications thingy against both of them. Basically, under this act, it can be illegal to send messages and post material online that deliberately causes somebody serious emotional distress. She was using the police to try and squash all this information that was coming out about her possibly, potentially, allegedly not sending through these donations. It carried on for months. This went on for months. Pebbles and Makaia couldn't talk about it. Nothing came up. They went through their court cases. It was all in the headlines. People were talking about it. It was all over the internet. It was around about the time just before Simone announced she was pregnant with her first child. She reached an out-of-court settlement with Makaia. Makaia released a statement explaining what happened from her side. The lawyers vetted it. It was all hunky-dory, and she released it. Basically, it was saying, I am making this statement regarding the resolution of legal proceedings with Simone Anderson Pressurer. Miss Anderson and I have agreed to settle the proceedings, and Miss Anderson's case against me has been discontinued. The purpose of this statement is to comment in the proceedings which court orders have prevented me from doing until now. On 9th of July 2020, I was served with an order under the Harmful Digital Communications Act 2015 obtained by Miss Anderson. I had no opportunity to be heard on the order before it was issued. The order prevented me from mentioning Miss Anderson online. The order has now been lifted, which enables me to comment. First, I want to apologize for posts I made about Miss Anderson and race. Okay, we're not going to get into that on this one. Second, I want to comment on my posts about Miss Anderson's charitable donations. From April 2020, I had received many private messages about Miss Anderson's Facebook group, Simone's Secondhand Wardrobe, which was established in June 2016 and used by Miss Anderson to sell gifted and personal items. The people who contacted me wanted me to find out where Miss Anderson had donated the proceeds of sale to charity, as she claimed. When these customers asked Miss Anderson about the donations and requested receipts or proof of donation, they were deleted and blocked from the group, making it impossible for them to follow up on this matter with Miss Anderson. In the first instance, I contacted Miss Anderson directly. Miss Anderson did not respond during the month of May. I started speaking publicly about the matter on my Instagram, asking Miss Anderson whether the donations had been made and if she could provide her customers with the receipts and proof of donations she claimed to have been making. Honesty, integrity, and transparency by social media influencers are important to me as a long-standing member of the influencer community. Documents obtained during the legal proceedings show that the Commerce Commission received a complaint about Simone's second-hand wardrobe on 30th of May 2020 and contacted Ms. Anderson thereafter. I have since been able to view 12 donation receipts showing Ms. Anderson making donations to multiple charities between the 2nd of June 2020 and the 1st of October 2020 with a total sum of around $22,000. There were no donations made before 2nd of June 2020. The Commerce Commission resolved not to pursue an investigation into Ms. Anderson and has published its reasons here. Blah, blah, blah. In sum, Ms. Anderson made charitable donations after I raised the donations issue online and the Commerce Commission received the complaint. I commend Ms. Anderson for doing the right thing and making these donations to many amazing charities. I have always opposed bullying of any sort and continue to do so. Freedom of speech allows for robust public debate and permits tough questions to be asked of public figures. Done respectfully, public debate is an important part of our free society. It is something I have always championed and will continue to do so. And that's it. That was from Makaia. So basically, Simone hadn't been donating, allegedly. It looks like 1 + 1 = no donations made. It's fairly obvious. She didn't want to have her image tarnished, and unfortunately, when you are out in the public, you kind of need to have it both ways. You can't be 100% perfect all the time. You need to own up to your mistakes. All Simone had to do was just say, you know what, I haven't, I'm sorry, I want to do better, please help me do better, I fucked up. No, instead she just wanted it brushed under the rug. She thought she could use people's taxes and the court system to silence two people from talking up against her. So Makaia put all that to rest, and then it carried on because we still had good old Pebbles. Now, Pebbles had a few other issues with other influencers at the same time. So Pebbles still had her case, and she was like a dog with a bone, not giving up. It carried on. And then finally in oh my God, like 2 years later, we had a bit of an update from Pebbles. Her court case finally went through and she could finally talk about it. Now, Pebbles didn't make a big post about it. She did a Patreon. Apparently the proceedings went through and Simone conceded on Pebbles' case. So that's two big cases against Simone for these donations and the lies that she had made, allegedly, about donating. And she folded. She folded on both of them. She must have huge lawyer bills. Sorry. And yeah, this is just, it's atrocious. Someone taking advantage of her followers, which is what Simone does on the regular, taking advantage of her followers, taking advantage of their empathy for a charity. Women's Refuge offers DV victims shelter. It gets them out of those situations. It helps them. It has resources for people to utilize to help them sort of build their lives back up after they've left DV relationships or DV situations. Simone has claimed to have been in a previous abusive relationship. So you would think that this would be something close to her heart, but it sounds like she really just played on that, the empathy of her followers, to give her money. You know, she's bought a house, she's got a spa, she's got all this great stuff, you know, and she was taking money from her followers through her group. She also had a trade me that she sold gifted stuff through, you know, so she was making bank on the gifted wares that she was. Now, there have been some internet sleuths that did some calculations and they worked out a possible amount that Simone was raking out of this, and it comes to about $200,000 allegedly. You know, so think about it. $200,000 is a fantastic amount of money to have donated to a charity. And if that went to Women's Refuge, that could have changed a lot of lives. That could have helped them immensely. Yeah, it's sad that Simone never took ownership of her fault. Just be honest. Be honest and say, I fucked up. The money didn't go to the charity. Please forgive me. Please give me a second chance. I'm going to work harder to prove that I am worthy of your eyeballs, your brain, your time, your scrolling, your money, your following. I'm going to prove to you that I'm worthy of that. And Simone didn't. This needs to be out there that she did not donate any money to the charity until after she was brought up by Pebbles and Makaia. And she only donated a fraction of what is estimated she gained from that Facebook group. 22,000 it's a lot of money, yes, but it's still pittance compared to what she gained over the 4 years that she had that group open. She needs to be honest about it. She needs to come up with a statement and say, hey, you know, she still keeps deleting messages. You know, people still keep trying to call her out on it, and she just will not humble herself. She won't. The Makaia statement really says it all, more than the Pebbles statement does, but the Makaia statement basically says it all. She did not donate. Nothing was done. And then Pebbles, she just goes on and says Simone was unable to accept that she got caught out, instead opting to, you know, utilize the courts to try and silence people. It's just insane that she abused the court system for something like that. Pebbles, as controversial as she is, thank you, Pebbles, for bringing this up. Makaia, for going through and being vocal about it. You know, I know some people don't like either of them. Some people like both of them. Some people like one. Some people don't like the other. It is what it is. We had two voices that were willing to put themselves on the line and fight so that this can be out there. It needs to be out there. It is now. out there, hopefully. Okay? See you next time. Like and subscribe. Thank you.